welcome back to another episode of Let's Think Green, an environmental podcast for Gen Z by Gen Z. I'm your host Riya, and today we'll be thinking and talking about greenwashing, what it is, examples of it, and how you can avoid it. Stay tuned! If you go to the grocery store, shop online, buy clothes, drink Coke or bottled water, or basically perform any consumer activity, then you have most likely seen greenwashing, and you may have even fallen for it. Greenwashing is a marketing tactic used by corporations to make their business and products seem more eco-friendly, when in reality, the business has no intention in becoming truly sustainable, nor is their infrastructure sustainable. It's a way for businesses to capitalize on this shift in the consumer mindset towards being more environmentally friendly. With all this news about the environmental crisis, crazy weather, global warming, a lot of consumers have been shifting towards, I want to be green, I want to buy environmentally sustainable products. And businesses have caught on to this, and they are trying to capitalize on this and make their products more desirable to such consumers. Think about it. You're probably more inclined to get a product that is labeled biodegradable, made of recycled materials, good for the earth, than one that isn't. I mean, you are listening to this podcast. When a business is greenwashing, they're not lying. They are phrasing the truth in a manner that places the business in the best light and makes that business seem eco-friendly. So oftentimes catching greenwashing can be really difficult. Greenwashing can be as obvious as this product is eco-friendly or something along those lines, like this is made up of recycled materials, or something explicitly stating that the product is eco-friendly. Or it can be as implicit, as vague as the word pure, or a green background on the packaging, or a picture of leaves or dolphins, or a pristine blue lake, something like that. All of those visuals and terms, although they're not explicitly saying that this product is good for the earth, our brains associate that with the earth and being good for the earth. So it is greenwashing if that product isn't actually that great for the earth. There's certain ways to spot greenwashing. The first clue that greenwashing is happening is if you see a vague statement on the tag or the packaging, such as, this jacket is made up of recycled materials. If that's all it says, that's a vague statement, because you don't know what part of the jacket is made up of recycled materials. Is it the hood, the zipper, the cuffs, the collar, the entire jacket? You don't know what percentage of the jacket is made up of recycled materials, or what those recycled materials are. Another tricky one, a vague, you could even say this is a misleading statement, is if you see one like, this dress is made up of 100% recycled cotton. Okay, so this statement makes it seem as if the entire dress is made up of recycled cotton. But fast fashion brands such as Forever 21, Raw Meat, or H&M is selling this dress, it most likely is not 100% recycled cotton, because they wouldn't be able to sell it at $10. It would be way more than that. So what do they actually mean? Well, they might mean that whatever portion of the dress is made up of recycled cotton, that fabric is 100% recycled cotton. That's really tricky, and that means something entirely different than this entire dress is made up of recycled cotton. Another thing to remember is if a company has nothing to hide, then they will tell you that this is where we get the cotton, this is what materials we use, this is what percent of the jacket is made up of recycled materials. You should either be able to find it on the tag, on the packaging, or at least their website. According to Dr. Desiree Schmuck, a professor of digital media effects at University of Vienna, the lesser of two evils, as she phrases it, is another example of greenwashing. Basically, this means that a business claims that their product is better than the original or regular product, even though both products are inherently bad for the environment. I personally saw this when we went to a restaurant and they gave us those foam cups that you get for drinks. And on the foam cup was written, biodegradable foam. This is like earth-friendly foam, something along those lines. Now, foam is bad for the environment. It can't be recycled. It's not biodegradable. Its production process is terrible for the earth. There's tons of air pollution and water pollution, and the chemicals in foam, when they break down and when they're like exposed to the elements, they release this really bad air pollutant that is harming the ozone layer. So there's no way to make foam good for the environment. Like if foam is actually biodegradable as that cup claimed to be, or if it's actually good for the earth, then it's not really foam. Like they would have to change a lot to make that foam, I'm doing air quotes, to make that foam good for the earth. And seeing as how this business was claiming that it's eco-friendly foam, they probably just added an additive in their foam to make it break down faster, but that does not actually make it decompose or biodegradable. I hope I'm making sense here, but just use like logic on this one. If it's bad for the environment, then how would you make it earth friendly? I don't know. That's something you should be thinking about too. Another example of greenwashing is, I haven't personally seen this one, but I read a lot about it online. And it's if there's like a professional or authentic looking certificate or label on a product, but that certificate isn't real or it's not certified by an established, credible organization. So if you see a label of some sort that looks authentic, but you don't recognize it, like it's not from the USDA or something like that, then look it up on Eco-Label Index. And Eco-Label Index will tell you, first of all, if that's even a real certificate, and second of all, who awards it and what requirements need to be met to give it to a certain product. The specific things that you can do on the consumer side. First of all, be skeptical. If a claim is too good to be true, then it probably is. So if a fast fashion company is claiming that they're eco-friendly, I would be skeptical of that, because the business model of a fast fashion company is produce a bunch of clothes at as low of a price as possible and then sell it. If a fast fashion company started becoming environmentally friendly, their prices would go way up, more than $5 or $10. So this kind of ties into my next one. Do your research. So if a company is claiming that they're good for the environment or that their product is good for the environment, look on their website. I mean, you just need to do a little bit of hunting on their website, product descriptions, and you should be able to determine from that if they are environmentally friendly or not. When you're doing this, when you're doing your research, read between the lines. Think about what is missing here. What are they telling me? How are they phrasing it? What else could they have told me? And that will lead you to figuring out, is this business really about sustainability, or are they all about capitalizing on this shift to being environmental conscious? Jumping back a little, I mentioned if you see like terms on packaging such as sustainable, eco-friendly, all-natural, pure, earth-conscious, earth-friendly. The reason I was telling you to look out for those terms, because those terms are not regulated by the government or by some other organization. Companies can come up with their own definition of what sustainable means, or of what 100% recycled materials mean. And that oftentimes is not the definition that we think they mean. The term organic, businesses by law can't say that this is organic unless and until it has met specific requirements. But it's not like that for terms such as eco-friendly or all natural. That's all about greenwashing. As consumers, it's our responsibility to know what we're buying, which businesses we're supporting, and send the message to corporations that sustainability and being environmentally conscious, that's not a fad, it's not a trend that is right now among consumers, but that consumers, we really care about that, and we really want businesses and corporations to care about it as well. I hope you all learned a lot about greenwashing. If you did, then send this episode over to a friend who would also learn a lot. The more that we can get this message out, the better, because the more consumers will be armed with the knowledge of greenwashing, and then they'll be able to avoid it. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great week.